I'm sorry, let's do it again. I'm bringing home a baby bumblebee. Won't my mommy be so proud of me? I'm bringing home a baby bumblebee. Ouch! It stung me. I'm gonna get my baby bumblebee. Won't my mommy be so proud of me? I'm gonna get my baby bumblebee. Won't my mommy be so proud of me? Ew, it's yucky. I'm wiping off my baby bumblebee. Won't my mommy be so proud of me? I'm wiping off my baby bumblebee. Won't my mommy be so proud of me? Okay, my friends, sit on your bottoms with your hands in your lap. It's now time for read aloud. Afterwards, we can do it. Have your hands in your lap and your eyes on Miss Cymone. We're going to do read aloud.
He keep on doing that.
Okay, so you can say, can you please stop, or you can ignore him. During read aloud, you need to have your eyes on Miss Cymone with your hands in your lap. Tyshawn has his eyes, so ignore him if he continues to do it, Cameron. Tyshawn has his eyes on Miss Cymone. Layla has her hands in her lap. Lariah is ready to grow her brain while looking at Miss Cymone. Jair is ready. Jovan, do you see how Jair has his eyes on Miss Cymone? Okay, so crisscross applesauce. Thumbs up. I'm so sorry, but this is the book we're reading. Maybe you can read a different book.
Mr. Ball, they have what I can't see.
If you cannot see on this side of the wall, which you probably won't be able to, stand up and go find a seat over there. So you can stand up and go find a seat over there. Okay, so remember we read this book over there. That is not a kind word, but Brandon's having a hard time, so now I'm trying to ignore Brandon if he's upsetting. You're right. Okay, so do you remember we read this book?
Yeah.
Well, that's not very kind. If that made you upset, you can tell her. But it's okay. Are you okay now? Okay. So we read this book, and do we remember what happened in this book? What happened to the peddler?
The monkey took his hat while he was sleeping.
The monkeys took his hat while he was sleeping. You are so right, Madison. Let me see if I can find the page, so for all our friends who forgot. Okay, he woke up, and he looked, his hats were gone, and then all these monkeys had his hat. Then what did he... How did he try to get his hat back?
He threw it up. Monkey, you give me back my hat.
He stood up. Tyrell, you had your hand raised and you had a quiet come out, so I'm going to call on you. Tyrell, what did he try to do to get his hat back? He did what?
He said,
oh, it's Tyrell's turn because he had a quiet hand. Yes, Tyrell. I'm listening to Tyrell.
Give me my hat.
Oh, he stomped his feet. Did he ask them very nicely?
No,
he didn't. Yeah, so when you have your feet, you have a silent hand. Okay, but I'm going to listen to Soleil because she had her hand up. So go ahead, Soleil.
He stopped and he's like, give me my hat.
Did he ask them nicely or was he mean when he asked them?
No,
he was mean. Are you okay? I'm going to call on 3 more of my friends and then I'm going to start reading my book. Noriana, go ahead.
He stopped his feet. Give me my hat, sack.
That's right, he did stop his feet. Thank you, Noriana. Kamaria, I'm going to call on one more friend after Kamaria, and then I'm going to read my book. Yes, Kamaria.
Give me my hat back.
Okay, thank you. Cameron.
And he was like, give me my hat back.
You are right. That's it. I said I was going to call 3 friends. Those were my 3 friends. Now I'm going to start reading. While we're reading, you need to be sitting on your bottom with a quiet mouth and your eyes on Miss Cymone. Nevaeh has a quiet mouth. Brandon has a quiet mouth, and he's ready to grow his brain. Madison has a quiet mouth. Cameron has his eyes on Miss Cymone. It's time for Miss Cymone to read her book. But it's cold in here. Do you have a shirt underneath? Okay, please go to Miss Lisa, and she can help you. Okay, so now we're going to read this book today to see maybe how the peddler was feeling when the monkeys were taking his hats and when he was trying to get it back. It's now time for Miss Cymone to read. You can tell me about it afterwards. It's Miss Cymone's turn to read, so now you need to have a quiet mouth with your eyes on Miss Cymone and your hands in your lap. Layla has her eyes on Miss Cymone with a quiet mouth. Zamari is sitting on his bottom. Miss Cymone's gonna focus on reading now.
He got a toy.
As long as he's growing his brain, Miss Cymone's gonna focus on reading. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like any ordinary peddler, carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First he had on his own checked cap. Then he had a bunch of gray caps. Kamara, if you can't see, stand up. Go to the back. Behind them. Then he had gray caps, brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top, he had a bunch of red caps. Nevaeh, be an independent person and find a way to see the book. He walked up and down the streets holding himself very straight as to not upset his caps. As he went along, he called, "Caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." Cameron, scoot back. Scoot back and then you'll all be able to see. One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. Zamaria has a quiet mouth and she has her eyes on the book. So you need to scoot back with your hands not touching Madison. So scoot all the way back, like off the carpet. Yep, there you go.
He got the gray cup, the red cup, the yellow.
Layla has her eyes on the book. Amari has a quiet mouth. Kayvon, do you see how Amari has a quiet mouth? Thumbs up. Kayvon. But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody even wanted a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for the walk in the country," said he, and he walked out of town. Slowly, slowly, so as not to upset his caps. Guys, he must have been feeling really discouraged or disappointed because nobody wanted any of his caps and he had no money for lunch. He was working really hard to buy those caps, but no one was buying them. I mean, to sell those caps, but no one was buying them. It must have been really hard for him. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "There's a nice place for a rest," thought he, and he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so not to disturb the caps on his head. He was putting them back. And he sat down very slowly. Miss Lisa, can you please help Lariah and Brandon on the carpet? And he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put his hands to feel if they were straight. First his own check cap, then the gray cap, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, and the red caps on the very top. They were all there. So he went to sleep and he slept for a long time. Nevaeh has her eyes on the book. Layla has a quiet mouth.
Sit up.
When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place. And all he felt was his own checked cap. What happened? Let's see. He looked to the right of him.
The monkey's
No caps. He looked to the left of him. No caps. He looked in the back of him. No caps. He looked behind the tree. No caps.
The monkey took him. The monkey took it.
Let's see. Then he looked up into the tree, and what do you think he saw?
Monkey took it.
The monkeys. He must have been so surprised when he looked up and saw all these monkeys taking his caps. He probably didn't think monkeys would take them.
Yeah, when he was asleep, the monkey jumped off the tree and took his hat off.
Yep.
No.
I would have been very surprised if I woke up and my caps were gone and monkeys took them.
The monkey took the tail of the tree. He jumped, his tail jumped back up.
Yeah, they jumped right back up.
And then the monkey got on the tree and
Right.
they eating the flower.
Oh, that's what happens is next, so let me read, just get up to that. I'm going to read to see if we get up there. Okay, so on every branch sat a monkey, and on every monkey was a gray, or a brown, or a blue, or a red cap. Zamaria has her eyes on the book with a quiet mouth. Madison has her hands keeping to herself. Kumaria has a quiet mouth. Layla has a quiet mouth. I'm going to keep reading, but can you tell me after the read aloud?
I see a monkey.
Tell me after the read aloud. The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. But he didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them.
Yes, he said, please.
You monkeys, you, he said, shaking a finger at them, you give me back my caps. But that was not nice, but the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, he must have felt so angry. Wait, guys, they were imitating him. He must have felt so angry when they were making fun of him. They were mocking him. He must have been mad. It's not nice when you mock a friend. It makes them very mad. So the peddler, that's what the peddler said. That's what the monkey said. Yep. Yes, Miss Lisa. Okay. I'll finish up. Okay, have your eyes on the book with your hands in your lap and eyes on Miss Cymone. Madison has her eyes on the book. Kamari has her hands in her lap. Soleil is sitting on her bottom. Jair has his hands in his lap. This made the peddler angry, so he shook both hands and then said, you monkeys, you give me back my caps. But the monkeys only shook both their hands back at him and said, now he felt quite angry. He stomped his foot. He said, you monkeys, you better give me back my caps. But the monkeys only stomped their feet back and said, he got so angry. You're right. By this time, the peddler was really angry. Miss Lisa, can you do one favor? Can you just stand right here with them? Just because they're having a hard time. Noriana, move over. Okay, Vaughn, move over.
Sit down.
Thank you. I just think if they had a presence, they would have a better time. Okay. You monkeys, you must give me back my caps. But the monkeys only stomped both their feet back at him and said, and last he became so angry that he pulled off his cap and he threw it on the ground and began to walk away. He must have felt so frustrated because he kept trying to get his hat back and they only kept mocking him. So he threw it down.
And then they don't get his hat back.
Brandon, I was listening. Go ahead, Brandon.
Okay, Cameron.
He should have asked them nicely to get his hat back. If you were him, you would have asked nicely. That would have been a great way to solve that problem, Brandon. But then each monkey pulled off his cap. Let's see what happens. And all the gray caps and all the brown caps and all the blue caps and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. So the peddler picked up his caps and put them back on his head. First his own check cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, and the red caps on the very top.
And the yellow cap.
And slowly, he walked back to town calling, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap. Thank you, Miss Lisa.
Thank you for the story. Thank you for the story. Thank you for the story.
Thank you for listening. So Miss Cymone has a question. Okay, Miss Cymone has a question. So I need you to have a quiet mouth. Have your eyes on Miss Cymone so I can ask my question. Our peddler, I'm sorry, I took a while. Our peddler was getting very angry. And he threw his hat on the ground. Why do you think he threw his hat on the ground? What was he feeling that made him throw his hat on the ground?
He was angry. Go get him his hat.
Why don't I call on a friend who has their bottoms on the carpet and has a quiet hand so that people don't get frustrated for calling out? Does someone have a quiet hand up that wants to tell me something? Yes, Brandon, what would you like to say? Brandon's sitting on his bottom and he has his hand up. Go ahead, Brandon. Because they weren't giving his cap back. So how do you think that made him feel when they weren't giving his cap back? Mad? What's another word for mad that he might be feeling? Madison, what's another word for mad that he could have been feeling? And that could be very frustrating. That would make me very frustrated. Yes, Tyrell. Yeah, they weren't giving it to him. Yes, Tyrell. Well, you were jumping up on the carpet, right? And you weren't sitting on your bottom. Okay, but I'm going to listen to Tyrell, then you can tell me what you had to tell me after read aloud, okay? Yes, Tyrell. You are absolutely accurate. That is what happened. Okay, thank you guys for listening. Let's give yourselves a round of applause. Round of applause. And then we're going to do small groups because Miss Lisa has a great activity for some of her friends. And then some of your friends are going to be with me at the table. Zamaria has her hands to herself. Amari has his hands to himself.
Mr. Rosie, I help her.
You're back.
Okay. Excuse me.
Okay, so we can fix it, okay?
I'm not called it. The ones I call, I need to see. Kayvon. Madison.
Kayvon, stand up, walk to the table. Madison, stand up, walk to the table.
Madison, Lariah, Nevaeh, Soleil, Layla, and Cameron. Madison, Lariah, no Soleil, Lariah, Nevaeh, no, Lariah. Pick them up.
Okay. The friends that I call are going to go to the red table and wait for Miss Cymone. Amari, stand up, walk to the red table, and wait for Miss Cymone with your hands in your lap. Yolanda, stand up, walk to the red table, with your hands in your lap. The big table, the big red table. Jair, stand up, walk to the red table. Tyshawn, stand up, walk to the red table.
Okay.
My 5 friends on the carpet, you guys are going to be my independent friends. You are going to take a table toy and you are going to bring it to the carpet and play with the table toy at the carpet.
Listen.
Jovan, you just need to sit at the red table. Find whatever chair. So get a table toy, bring it to the carpet.
Listen. Take your candy cane, turn it over.
Tyrell found a table toy.
Turn it over so your name can be at the back.